Welcome to SIS Stories. This is Miss Bacigalupo's English 10 class, storytelling under the theme, Enter, Return. This is Lucien's memoir. Listen to what happens when he enters a chilling situation.
So I hate walking in general, and so I was doing this walk in the U.S. where in a cold place in the U.S. It was a deserty area, but like during the winter it would snow and it was cold, and ice and rocks, and I really hated it. When I was small, I lived in France, in the south of France especially, where it would maybe just snow 1 week per year, and I would really not like it. My mom hated snow; she just hates cold in general. But my dad really liked it. He was a semi-pro freestyle skier, so when he was younger, so he really liked it. But my mom hated it. So when we went skiing in the Pyrenees with my grandparents and my dad, I would just watch my dad and not do amazing stuff, and I would just be scared of how I do it, and I just hated it. But today, I walked here and preparing regarding all my footsteps and be careful where I put my feet, because the ice would just just in a simple second I could just fall and break my neck. So I was trying not to fall, and then I arrived at this cliff. It was a meter tall. It wasn't really tall at all. I would jump it like how I normally do it, and this time I jumped it. But this time I just fell into the water. It was really a cold feeling. The water, the ice on top would just cut my legs, and it was really bad. And then the ground shook, and I fell again. So really how it happened is that I was on the rock, both of my feet on the rock, and then I jumped off. I landed into a puddle without knowing, and then the ground just shook and opened, and so I was going down again. So when the brusque movement stopped, I was again in water, in a cave. All of it was covered except for the ceiling, where I just pierced it with my body. And so it was an icy lake, inside lake, and I would just try, and I would see in the wall, how do we say, a hole in the wall where it would be light. So I think it was heaven after the darkness, really, because it was we were dark where I was, completely dark, and it was just this one hole with light. It was really darkness and heaven. So I just tried to go there, half swimming, half walking, because it wasn't really shallow. It wasn't really deep, more shallow. But at the same time, the ice on top would make my progression harder. So finally, I arrived to this hole in the ground. There was a little upper, so it wasn't I wasn't on the water when I arrived to it. It was kind of a little island in the middle of the lake. And I would just try to put it was really small, so I just put in my hand through it, but I was all wet, and the wind outside was really cold, so it was really cold, just really, really cold, and really so I knew if I went out of this cave, it was warmer than outside, I would die in a few hours, because I was completely wet and outside was really cold. So I would freeze. It was -10, so I would freeze to death pretty much. So I tried digging myself out of this cave, because the wall was really thin, maybe 3 centimeters. So I would push it and take the dirt out. So, and then I was pushing, and then when my progression was made better, I heard my dad screaming where you are, and I screamed back at him. I was underground, and he didn't understand. What was I doing underground? Really, I just fell through the ground. I just fell through the ground. It was just weird, just explaining it to somebody who just came, where he just passed here 30 minutes ago, and then he just finds someone underground where he was. He didn't understand at all. asked like, how did I go from up to down? So he helped me getting out, and then we just rushed back home. It was like 3 kilometers left, but like it was really cold, and like my dad was kind of like pissed at me because I made him like wait, and he doesn't like waiting. So like I fell on the ground, like I was almost like I was scared, and then all like his emotions were just like he was pissed at me. So I rushed back to the car. That was 3 kilometers away from the cave, and it was like I didn't die, but it was cold. Okay.